Okay. Woo. Do you ever just like, I don't know, you just want to like yell and get all your energy out, like, "Rah!" Like I relate to toddlers more than I think I want to admit. Hey guys, thanks for coming back to check out another video. It is Pan Those Eyeshadows Update 1. I cannot believe 4 weeks has already like passed from, you know, when we filmed the introduction. Like it flew by. It escaped me. Time escaped me, and you know, I didn't use these as much as I would have liked to. It is an exciting update though. We did hit pan in one of them, so stick around. Firstly, I feel terrible. In my introduction video, forgot to say that this idea completely came from Alexi here on YouTube. I will link her down below, always in the description box, and try to remember to always link her in the cards above. So she started this. She has like 2 years worth, if I'm not mistaken. She did this in 2016 and 2017, and then she moved on to doing Pan That Palette. She's amazing. Her eye looks are always gorgeous. She can like get through shadows like it's nobody's business. I absolutely adore her. If I ever forget to mention her, like that she's the creator when I film these updates, things like that, then this is my in advance apology. Like sometimes you just forget, especially when you're filming, like it feels like a repetitive video and you always have like the same little spiel at the beginning. So that is never like my intention to try to take credit for this idea. So yeah, she will always be linked down below, and I will try to always remember to credit her, but just in case, just gonna put that out there. So anyway, pan those eyeshadows. I'm sure you have seen a bunch of people do this, and so this, I just want to quickly say, just in case this is your first time watching me do it, the way I have set it up is I don't completely randomize the shade. I just randomize the palette, and then from the palette, I pick the shade that I want. That way, I just feel like that works better for me. That way, I make sure that I get a shade that is, you know, seasonally appropriate or that I'm drawn to, and it keeps it fun and interesting, like on this end. So there's that. And then one other thing, I did not start my challenge with this rule, but I've seen other people kind of have like a rule similar to this, where the ultimate goal is to hit pan, obviously, on a shadow, hence the name Pan Those Shadows. But some people have added in like a usage rule, so like whichever comes first, either I use the shade X amount of times or I hit pan, then I can roll it out. I really like the idea of that, because I think you could get really frustrated or bummed out by like using a shade and not really getting that progress on it. And we all know, I think some shadows would take like 100 uses, some 10 uses. So what I thought of doing was adding in the rule of like, if I hit pan, great, but if I use the shade 45 times and still have yet to hit pan, then I could roll it out and select a new shade. But let me know, let me know down below, there's a lot of L's in that sentence. Let me know down below if you think that that is something I should add in, or if I should just stick with like the original rules where we just hit pan. But yeah, I think that's all the housekeeping stuff. So without further ado, let's talk about this. I swatched these out on my hand already. So here was the color story of the 4 shades that we were working with. This is Listen from McGrath Labs. This is, in case you missed it, from the ColourPop Sweet Talk palette. This is our only matte shade that we're currently working on. This is Honey from the Urban Decay Naked Honey. And then this is So Quiche. It's a ColourPop Supershock shadow. So the shade that I did not use at all during these 4 weeks was the shade Listen from McGrath Labs. Oops, if I could hold it right. It is this shade right here, and it is so pretty. I don't know, there's no excuse, because I separated these palettes out so that I would see them like they're more in the forefront in my like little palette storage thing. So I just didn't reach for it, and it's such a pretty shade. It's just like a dark rose gold shade, and just for this time of year, like, I need to reach for it more. So I kind of want to set like a little mini goal of using this at least 10 times in the month of February, if not more, because that is a shame that this got no use, no love. So the next one is the In Case You Missed It from ColourPop Sweet Talk. I used this shade 4 times, so I don't think you'll see any like dip or noticeable progress. This shade, as I throw the palette down on the floor, okay. Oh, a shade popped out. Uh-oh. It's okay though. We can fix this. Dream Maker just kind of like popped out. I threw the palette down. Well, I didn't mean to throw it. I dropped it. Anyway, it's not a Haley video unless there's something chaotic going on. This is the shade though, In Case You Missed It, that I used 4 times. It's much warmer than like I typically reach for this time of year. Like this time of year, the warm tone shades that I like are more of the like browns and kind of chocolatey colors. And this is more of like, I don't know, to me it's like a brick red. When you look at it though in the pan, like it looks more pink, does it not? It's down here. I don't know, I get more of like a pink vibe from it, but I think that that's because it's surrounded by all this like pink tone kind of shades. Like I know there's like browns and like the mustard yellow up here, but ultimately like there's just a lot of pink in this palette, so I think it kind of throws off your view on that shade almost. But yeah, so I used it 4 times. I ultimately just used it to deepen out like my outer V in the few looks that I did with it. So I don't know, I want to try it in my crease. I just need to find a color to pair it with that I really like using. So there's that. And then Honey from the Urban Decay Naked Honey, we used this shade 6 times over the course of the month. So here it is. I'm trying not to blind you with the mirror. It's the bright yellow, obviously. So I think you can tell it does have usage on it. It looks like it has hard pan almost. I don't know how well it's gonna focus on it. Yeah, like right there, I think you can tell it kind of looks like it has hard pan, but it still performs nicely. Like I don't have any issues with it. I think it's just, I apply this shade with my finger, and so I think it's just like the natural oils. Now obviously I wash my hands before I do my makeup, but I think it's just like the natural oils on my hand, like mixing in with the shadow. So I don't know, not worried about it. I haven't like, because I know some people when they get hard pan, like they either do the tape method or they'll like scrape the hard pan off, but I'm not affected, so I'm not going to do that, I guess is my point. But yeah, Honey has been just, it's such a pretty yellow shade. I really love to wear this as like a lid shade, obviously, and then pair it with like those browns that I was just mentioning that I've been really drawn to this year. You know what I just noticed too? It is Pan Those Eyeshadows update, and I'm not wearing any of these shadows today. My bad. So our last shadow to talk about is the Supershock shadow, the shade So Quiche, and I am so happy to tell you guys I used this shadow 19 times and we hit pan. Now the pan looks a bit awkward because this shade is drier than like other ColourPop Supershock shadows that I have, but it's always like, it came to me more dry. So it's never felt as, I guess, wet as the other ones, but I'm not worried. Like it still performs really nicely. So I don't think that it's dried out. I think it's just, they have a little bit of a variation depending on the color and how like the formula and the consistency. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying that's the gospel. Anyway, so the pan looks a little funny because it did crumble a few times, but when it crumbled, like I would make sure to like pick up the pieces with my finger and use those on my eye. So we didn't like lose any product, like it still all got used on my eyelids is my point. I really liked pairing this shade with like darker kind of like purpley shades in the crease and the outer V. It was just so pretty. I don't have any pictures of looks that I did with these shades, and I'm gonna get better about that. However, this is not a shameless plug, but I don't like if I like take a picture of like a look, I don't like inserting that into a video because I don't have like, I mean, I guess I could move over, but it just feels like the picture takes up so much space and I don't feel like you get a good view of the eye look. So I made a makeup Instagram, which I will have listed down below. And so I will try to be better about posting the looks that I do with these shades on there. So if you're curious, then that would be where to go to see any looks. So we do get to roll a shadow in. Exciting. Let us see. I already have Pretty Random pulled up and it has Garden Date all over my phone now. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say, so I filmed my introduction in December, like before Christmas. So obviously Christmas has come and I'm very thankful. I got some eyeshadow palettes for Christmas. So those are now in here, and I also did some rearranging of my list because I noticed that like it would have bothered me because the palette, like just for argument's sake, like number 10 Urban Decay, you know, the original Naked palette, and then like number 15, you know, Urban Decay Naked Honey. So I rearranged it to where all the brands are together, and then we had the addition of Christmas palettes. So we now have 36 categories, which does still not only eyeshadow palettes, but ColourPop Supershock shadows, Stila glitters, and any loose powders that I have. So we will just randomize our one number together, maybe. Number 32. What is 32 going to be here on the list? Oh, 32 is my pink Z palette. Do I even... Oh, that doesn't exist anymore. Well, I still have a Z, but it's just not pink anymore. Hold on, I will be right back. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to do some more switching with this list because I didn't remember that I did this. I used to have a big, large pink Z palette, like from Ulta. I split that down into 2 palettes, so I don't know how to choose a shade because this does not exist as the pink Z palette anymore. It's 2 separate ones. So I will fix that in my list and list them individually, but we are actually going to just randomize another number because that to me is just easier than trying to justify picking one of the shades. Just, yeah. Okay, 14. And I promise 14 is what we will go with. Okay, so I was just getting ready to say, like, you know what? I could just pick a number, or pick, you know, a single out of one of these palettes, even though the pink Z palette doesn't exist anymore. And then I dropped both of them on the ground and some shades have shattered within here. And I don't even know if the other one has any casualties, but just gonna put this away and not deal with it right now. Just run from your problems. So we will just go with the other number that we randomized, which was number 14. So that comes from the Profusion Chocolates palette. This is what it is looking like. Very pretty. So the shade that I have decided to go with on this is right here. It's the shade Blitz. I have to show it to you upside down because like the ring light will glare off of this. But it's this shade right here, Blitz. And here is what it looks like. Now it is sheer. I had to build this shade up quite a bit. Like, let me show you. If I just do like one swipe, the difference that it, see, like it's darker if you build it up, but that's kind of nice. Like you can control the color a bit more, but I really like it. It's like this taupey color with like a gold shift to it. Kind of has the same vibe as the So Quiche shade that we just rolled out, but it's, you know, it's the time of year to pull in your darker shades, right? So again, not necessarily like a very cohesive color palette, but I still really am enjoying this. So hopefully next time we will have a shade to roll out again. That would be exciting if we could do that every update. But yeah, that's everything. I will see you guys in the next one. I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah, that's it. Okay, bye.